Hey everybody. I just want to share some news that I'll be going on a missions trip next month in July. So, um, this is me trying to fundraise for it and also just share a little bit of my testimony. Um, so, we'll be going on a mission trip. It's going to be a team of four of us from my church, including my pastor, and we will be going with the pastor and his wife of our partner Hispanic church, who have been going on medical mission trips to South America and Central America and Haiti for the past 20 years. So we'll be using the funds to um, buy medicine from here in America, since it's easily accessible for us, and we'll be distributing that to the people around Cayambe, Ecuador. And we'll also be distributing food and clothing, um, and the money will be used for travel, like airfare, lodging, all the supplies, all the stuff that we'll be distributing, just the equipment that we'll be using. So yeah, would really, really appreciate it if you guys could consider donating. And more importantly than your monetary contributions, will be even more important. And just would really, really appreciate if you can keep this missions trip in your thoughts and your prayers, because God moves with prayer. It tells us so in the Bible. It tells us to pray without ceasing. I just want to share a little story about prayer and why I know it works. It has to do with the fact that I had a season of revival this past year. And it started because I confessed to my growth group partner from church. His name is Luke. He's the most righteous guy that I've ever known. But yeah, last year I confessed to him that I think I'm going to hell. I knew that God was real. I knew that Jesus came and died 2,000 years ago, but I was still living in darkness, just chasing things of this world. And when he heard that, he brought it up to the elders of my church, and they started just praying and fasting for me. And God moved. God moved in I'll try to describe like two occasions, or two kind of things and circumstances, that where God showed me that it's His doing. And my season of revival, I would say it started right around last summer, and I just, yeah, I don't know what it was, but I just started to just get back into reading the Bible, and just started kind of going to church more regularly. And there was this one time where I was going to church. I had gotten my morning Starbucks on the way to church, and right at the intersection of, it's the Pan Am Starbucks. So I think it's Nutley and 29. But as I was leaving there, that's like a common spot for a panhandler right at that intersection. And I was feeling good, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna help this dude out. And so I had made it on my mind that I'm gonna give this dude a little bit of money. So I pull out a $10 bill, and I hand it to him, and I say, he had a little sign up. It had like Bible verse on it. I think it was Matthew 5:42, which is that's a great verse to hold up, I think, as a panhandler. It's kind of funny if you look it up. But yeah, I gave him the money, and then I said something like, "Don't give up, man. I'll see you up there." I said that because he was holding a Bible verse. but I didn't know what it was at the time. But yeah, I mean, when I gave it to him, I don't know. We just somehow got in like a short little conversation, something about marriage. Um, maybe he had mentioned something about his wife or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, he kind of said the notion of how like there's no marriages in heaven, and I'm not really too read on the Bible, so I got a lot to cover. I got a lot I got to get through to be able to like have read the Bible from start to finish. Um, so yeah, at the time I wasn't aware of how Jesus mentions in one of the gospel books that like there's no marriages in heaven. And this dude was like he was citing like scripture. I think it was a passage from either Mark or Luke where Jesus like talks about it. And I was like, okay, like this dude's a little wild, right? But then I go to church that I continued going to church, and that day in the sermon message, um, Robert, who was preaching that day, kind of as a side note, mentions that there's no marriages in heaven. And, that's obviously a coincidence. And that's kind of when it hit me like, man, like he's reaching out to me. You know what I mean? Um, and another kind of instance of that I experienced was this one isn't really an instant, but just kind of just how things kind of came to be and the timing of things. But so my season revival, it's like going on, and I had moved to the Mosaic area in September, and a long time ago, maybe around like 8 to 10 years ago, I was at the Mosaic, and I was with a girl for the first time, like on a first date, and I was walking by the Barnes and Nobles that they have there, and at the corner of my eye, I could see that inside my pastor was there, Pastor Henry with his wife. I could see just from my peripheral that she noticed me because she like pointed at me. But just, I don't know, instinctually, I just kind of ignored it, pretended like I didn't notice them. Because, I was with this girl for the first time, and like, I just thought it'd be kind of weird, you know what I mean? To like, I don't know, acknowledge them and do small talk and this and that. And the other part was the fact that, like, the reason why I recognized them was because I had visited a friend, a high school friend, at the church that Pastor Henry was at the time. This was maybe like 5 years ago, before like this chance encounter. And you know what I mean? Like I didn't really like continue going, even though like I had met him. I loved the way that he gave his messages. It was like just amazing, such a blessing to hear him speak. But I just wasn't really committed to church at the time, and I just stopped going. But yeah, so I just kind of ignored them, you know what I mean? But I took that as a sign from God that he was telling me to like come back to church and telling me to go to Henry's church. So that following Sunday, I looked them up, looked them up and found out that they had moved locations. They were meeting in Fairfax, and I'm still a part of this church now, and now I'm going on a missions trip as part of the church, and just kind of going back to it being like a coincidence, right where I live right now on my terrace. If I just look straight a little bit to the left, I could see the Barnes and Nobles, and just timing of just my revival season. And the fact that I live there now, and like, you know what I mean, all those things kind of lining up was just another sign from God. It's his work, it's his hand behind it. And it was a show of just, how faithful God is. Because even after that chance encounter, man, I still wasn't, like living in the spirit. I was just lukewarm. I go through periods of darkness. Um, and yeah, like especially leading up to my season of revival, I was just still just consumed by the things of this world. And yet God still called me, knowing that I just turned away from him time and time again. So yeah, just, God is just so faithful. He's just so loving. His mercy and his grace is unending. So with this season of revival, I mean, God's just put it on my heart to um, just kind of play my role in what I can in being a laborer for his harvest. So I'm really, really excited to just kind of play a more of a direct role in that, in my church and also with this missions. So yeah, that's pretty much just a little summary of this season of revival that I had. And um, yeah, I would really appreciate it if you guys, well, thank you for getting to this point in the video if you made it this far. So I'll be posting links to the GoFundMe regularly until the trip. We're also gonna have different fundraising events on the 30th of June, which is a Monday. There's going to be a Red Robin in Chantilly that is going to, they were gracious enough to be willing to donate 20% of their sales for people that go in and let them know that, they're here to help fundraise for my team. So would really, really appreciate it if you guys can just make time out to, grab lunch or dinner that day there. And yeah, I'm excited to just, now I really appreciate if you guys could pray for me and my team as we prepare for the missions, just to just walk with the Lord, you know what I mean? Just get super intimate with him. And yeah, I'm just super excited to be going on this trip, and excited to report back on just seeing God move, in a different part of the world. The whole world is in his hands, and he works through people to spread the gospel, to just shine his glory through just sharing love. And yeah, just excited to be a part of it. And I think that's it. So yeah, thank you guys. And yeah, I'll be reporting back. So I guess I'll see you guys later on. Thank you so much.